as you can see, it's quite terrible. Matter of fact, it's kind of hazy out, almost foggy. But this honey ain't gonna sell itself, right? That is a fact. This honey will not sell itself. And I may not sell it today because of the weather, but here we are still yet. We are at the table. Hopefully you guys come in soon. See, live chat, I know a lot of people will be starting to travel, going to Cayman Con, and as usual, here we are. I got a new addition this week, and I don't want to show it to you quite yet. Hey, Dean, good to see you. So, obviously, honey, 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 honey. Even got some combed honey in the jar, some chunk honey, if you will. Bunches of flavors of creamed honey, and hot honey, and bee pollen, cut comb, board butter. I re-upped the sweet and sassy barbecue sauce this week. I don't want to show you because it's a split display. It's too late now. Boom. Carolina Gold. Carolina Gold honey barbecue sauce. So we got 2 sauces now. We'll see. This one I know sells really well. This is a South Carolina thing. So we will see if the South Carolina sauce does well. If it does, then I'll ramp up production. But until then, we got 2 sauces. If I don't ramp it up, if it doesn't sell, then so be it. We'll keep it right there. But it tastes really good if you're familiar with that type of barbecue sauce. So I did that last night. So that was kind of what was happening is I was selling a lot of this, but then I would get the person that says, "Oh, I'm a mustard-based barbecue person," and I didn't have nothing for them. Now I do. So that's kind of what's going on. But it's crappy weather today, guys. On top of that, the day started off rough because I had unloaded my whole truck and put it inside because it rained the other day and made sure everything was inside. However, I had a cardboard flat that had pint jars of honey in it, and I went to move it so I could load the cases on my truck, and a jar fell and busted, so I had to clean up a big honey mess, and it's probably not to my wife's liking anyway. I'll try to make sure that's all squared away before she gets home. But yeah, the honey's not going to sell itself, so I had to come out. We had to come out and try. Will it sell? I don't know. Probably not. I might get a little bit today, but I'm not very hopeful because of the weather. There's not even that many people driving today. I'm just plugging in my. Sorry, guys. There's not even that many people driving on the road here, so I'm not real enthusiastic. Also, I learned a very important lesson the other day. I bottled up. I made sauce. Good morning. I made sauce yesterday, and I took it off the burner and let it sit there for a while, and then I put it in I actually do put the sauce in the gated pail, and then I just transfer it into the measuring cup, which is easier to pour for that. But anyway, I digress. I started bottling up started bottling up sauce, and I got about the 5th or 6th bottle, and I looked back, and it looked like the sauce was starting to grow out of the top of the bottles. And I'm sitting there wondering, why is this sauce expanding? Well, it wasn't. It took me about 5 seconds, and I just shook my head. It's not expanding. The bottle is shrinking because the sauce was too hot. So I had to empty that out and then rebottle up. So we're still making mistakes over here, but it happens. I have great margins on the sauce. I mean, as far as YouTube, it uses honey. Both sauces have honey in them. However, it's not a lot of honey. I mean, compared to everything else that's in it, there's not a lot. So it definitely makes it cost-effective honey to, as far as, I guess, how much honey's in the container, right? So to give you an example, I mean, for a 1 pound squeeze bottle, if it were full with honey, I still sell that for $10. And the 3 pounder, it's $25 for sauce. Now, with that being said, when I say 1 pound bottle, it's 1 pound of honey weight. So I think it's really like 12 ounces, right? So you're not really giving them a pound of sauce. You're giving them about 12 fluid ounces of sauce. And so it's profitable. And it really doesn't take long to make. Maybe 30 minutes to make a batch of sauce. Maybe a little bit longer, 30 to 45 minutes. I made was it 12? My recipe, it was like 12. The recipe always does small batch, right? But it was like 12 times what my recipe sheet called for. I think I got 18 1-pounders and 3 3-pounders of sauce. So, and I think it cost me all in maybe $50, but that $50 makes $255 in gross sales. So it's a pretty good margin. I didn't spend that much on the mustard-based sauce, but I didn't make as much either. So there's kind of that thing. But I mean, even if I spend $100 together between both sauces, and it makes me $400, that's a good margin. I mean, it's a good margin on sauce. So I just need the weather to quit screwing around and let me sell something. But I was just getting out here. I did my 2 social media posts. Actually, 3 social media posts, sorry. One on my channel. One on 2 different communities. And then, of course, mine, and now this one. So this is 4 posts. This will be the longest one of them all because I'm just sitting out here talking right now. But the month was going good, and then the weather turned bad. So hopefully we can get it going again and keep things rocking and rolling. I've sold almost all of my combed honey that I have currently. I'm gonna have to re-up that. So it's definitely trial and error, learning a lot as I go. I don't claim to know everything. I only know what my numbers show me where I'm at, I have had some questions about creamed honey recently. And in my sauce research, I also found something that was very interesting that could apply to creamed honey. And what that usually is the typical thing I'm getting is that I can't get the flavor of my creamed honey strong enough. Now, what I know is I don't add the flavor to my creamed honey till it's ready to go in the jar, right? Until I'm ready to put that in the bottle, that's when I'm flavoring it, right before then. And then immediately after I'm done jarring it, it goes in a refrigerator. So whatever temperature you have your refrigerator at is your business. I find that the 50 to 58 degrees for me and my honey did not work like it was kind of advertised. Colder is better for mine. I don't know why. Don't ask me. I have no idea. However, in my sauce research, it says immediately after you take the sauce off of the warmer that you should refrigerate it, because the cooling process the cooling process brings out the flavors of the seasoning. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm just regurgitating what I read. So, usually with the sauce, I don't do that. I usually let it cool, put it in a container, seal it up, and Bob's my uncle. However, yesterday, I sealed it up, put it in a cooler, waited for a little while, then brought it back out again. And, people like my sauce. I don't know what to say about it. So I wonder exactly. So I'm wondering if with the creamed honey, because I do that, why my flavors come through is because, yes, I taste it and put it in a jar and put it in the refrigerator, but it does get a little bolder flavor being in the refrigerator. So that could be the key that people are missing out on. They're putting too much flavoring in, thinking that it's just going to taste that way. You've got to give it time to hydrate in the honey, and then once it's in the honey, for those flavors to leach out into the honey. That's the only thing I can figure based on the questions that I've been getting. So hopefully that's helpful. Again, everybody's honey's different. Every geographical location is different. I've had honey when I first started. It still hasn't crystallized the first year. So, who knows? My buddy's got one in his cabinet. Looks just the same way. And, so here's the thing. So like with my sauce, I messed around and left honey in my warming cabinet. Now, my warming cabinet is typically, I think, 90 degrees, maybe 100, right in that area, 90 to 100. And I messed around and left it in there too long, and it got dark. It still tasted fine. It was just dark. So that's the honey that I use for my sauce as compared to throwing it out, right? That makes sauce. Makes perfect sauce. So if you're going to get rid of something like that, instead of getting rid of it, turn it into some sauce or something. Even if you don't sell it, turn it into sauce and use it yourself on your next barbecue or your friends or 4th of July or whenever, Also, everything that I could find online as far as barbecue sauce should last 18 months to 2 years if it's heated appropriately. I'm talking about shelf life, right? If it's heated appropriately and sealed in an airtight container. So I guess those little press seals make it airtight. Once you open it, definitely refrigerate it, they say. But other than that, yeah, that's about all I can tell you about sauce. Not that everybody, there's things that, I don't like to do that other beekeepers do like to do. So I'm sure maybe sauce is not one of the things that people like, or they're not into that cooking type of thing. I had a couple issues. So I don't do lip balms and stuff like that, right? I did candles, but I don't do lip balms and stuff. So I was looking for something I could add to my table, right, to kind of fill it out a little bit more. I even thought about putting all my sauce on one end of the table and let people take a look at it. So what's up, guys? I see the chat's going. See Charlie. Hey, Charlie. See Rick, DC. DC, are you going to Cayman Con or what? It does let me use up my older honey. It surely does. And, fresh cappings with honey. No, I don't. Barbecue sauce here is typically something that doesn't get refrigerated long. And most people, if they open it, they're opening it to use it. And then once they use it or start using it, if it starts looking bad, they'll just chuck it out. One of the things that I like about what I've got going here as far as the way I do it, and again, guys, do what you do you how you do you, right? That's the moral to the story. But because I have the samples, they taste it. 99% of the people taste it before they buy it and carry it home. And so they are aware of the flavor they're getting beforehand, right? And what that does is that I don't get that, oh, I bought this flavor and I really didn't like it. Well, you bought it after you tasted it, right? So that's on them at that point. But yeah, we got everything loaded up. I actually had to make another batch of this delicious lemon creamed honey. Made like 19 jars of that the other day. So yeah, it's really kind of crazy. Yeah, and today, like I said, guys, today may be a total loss. Not a loss, really. It's an opportunity. And Dr. Leo's cappings are $50 a jar. I think he's smoking some of that good from out that way. $50 for cappings. Do you sell cappings, Rick? I don't have anything on my table that's $50. The highest thing on my table, one item, is $30. I've never had anybody say anything about it. And I'm looking at my thing here and it's driving me a little crazy. But I'm afraid to mess with it. There we go. Straighten it up a little bit. And I don't use extract. I don't add any liquid to my honey. No liquids to my honey. There's only lemon powder. Actually, to be precise, it's lemon juice powder. It's freeze-dried lemon juice powder. I am not a freeze dryer, so I don't know exactly that process, but it works really well. It kind of reminds me of, you know, the little lemon drop candies that you got when you were a kid, or maybe your grandparents. My grandparents loved those things, and that's what I used for mine. But and that's kind of what it tastes like to me, anyway. But yeah, it's just a labor of love at this point. The sauce is kind of a thing that I tried one time just to see how it would go, and it went well. And then I started having people asking me, "Hey, do you have any sauce?" Well, no, that was this year. Do you have any sauce? Nope. 3 weeks in a row, guy came. Do you have any sauce? Nope. I'll make you some. And then it was, I think, 2 weeks later after I made it that he came and bought some. So listening to my customer, right? He wanted sauce. Not only did he want sauce, he wanted a bigger bottle than what I was previously making. So that's when it went into the 3-pounder. So it's definitely kind of trying to listen to what they're asking. DC, are you still going to Nobby or no? Yeah, I watched Dr. Leo when he was at what's the guy's name? It's another big homesteading YouTube channel. Is it something in Stacy? And he opened up a long hive, or yeah, it was a long hive. He opened up the long hive, or it might have been a top bar hive, and that thing was just overrun with beetles, and he did nothing for it. And then the next video, he came back, and that hive had died out. It was like, okay. I got you, DC. Well, don't feel bad. I'm not going to be there either. And I hope all is going well with Mom there. Now, That's a tough situation. I've been in it, and but you gotta do that, man. You gotta do that. But yeah, so I'll probably be out here all day and nothing happened. That's not the hopes, that's not the goals, but that's the reality. I'm spending the plane tickets on the shiny extraction gear. I gotcha. Last night I was sitting there watching Joey's stream, and I had this thought just kind of pop in my head, and it was like, it's only 9 hours. I could drive up there, even if I didn't go to the show, just to hang out with some people and then come back. And then I was like, nah, that's too much. Too much. So, and the wife would probably flip out. Are you going with the 21? Okay. My thing is, I never understood that. Why is it they make extractors that don't match up with the size of frames you got? Is it kind of like the hot dog and bun theory? Hey, if we put 8 hot dogs in a pack and 12 buns, then we need to buy more hot dogs, or if something like that. Because a box holds 8 or 10 frames, and you get a 13, and I guess an 18 and a 20 frame or 21 frame. It's like make a 10 frame, a 20 frame, a 30 frame, a 40 frame, do it in even numbers. I think they just want to make my OCD and me to start twitching on the screen, worried about it. And, but it's like, it's not that hard, guys. We know the size of the frames. Just make a damn drum that'll fit in. You run 9 in a 10 frame box. I have not done that yet. I've tried a couple times with the spacers, but it always just seems to end up wonky. Who knows? Maybe we try that this year. But I've got a 30 frame, so the license, which it's debatable, because sometimes if you put 30 deeps in, depending on the type of deep frame, it's a little tight. But I have done it. I have gotten 30 frames deep in there, and every year that I've had it, and it's worked. So it's kind of crazy out today. It said it was supposed to be warm. It's not. It said it was supposed to be cloudy. It is mostly cloudy, but it's not only cloudy, but it's kind of hazy gray. Look. Oh, you got to have drawn comb to do it, right? Yeah, it's even the bees are like, nah, I ain't getting up today. I ain't getting out today. Even if it warms up, they probably won't come out. But at any rate, guys, the biggest hive I have is a 24 frame Layens. Okay. Do you have a Layens frame extractor, or is there a different way to do that? What method are you using? Okay, you do. All right. Yeah, I know they are bigger frames, but Hilco seems to be the go-to place for that kind of stuff too. Oh, okay, a Lyson large frame extractor. Got you. Well, that's cool. I'm a fan of Lyson, but at least until Hilco came out with this new Max line. That new Max line is a very, very, very similar to the Lyson hive the Lyson extractor I have. So, it's not rocket scientry. It's money, right? So, with the way Hilco works, is basically they go to a company and they say, hey, we like this line, or we want you to build this for us. How much would it cost? And then they buy in bulk, and then they pass the savings on. So I don't disagree with that business model at all. However, when I bought mine, that was not. Yeah, see, but DC, when I bought mine, it was the lowest, or one of the lowest name brands that you'd be familiar with, right? So at that time, it's like, well, you can get a Max Ant, and you can. The Hilco ones were the original Hilco ones, and they were kind of not as good as these Max Lines ones, in my opinion. They might be fine. I didn't use one because I already had mine at that time. But the when I bought mine, it was the best I could afford with the money I had, right? So just get what you can afford, right? What's in your budget. You can always, well, I hate to say always. Hey, Mike. Yeah, Lyson is a bit pricey now. To give you an idea, when I first started, I was looking at that mini, the mini line. It's the whole line with the 40 frame extractor. I was looking at that, and it was 34,000 and some change, and then you'd have to pay shipping. But if I spent 34 grand, I'd probably just rent a trailer and go up there and get it and bring it back, right? But at any rate, that thing is now like 50 grand. So prices are definitely going up. Even the stuff that I bought is more now to buy it today than it was when I bought it. So yeah, everything's going up, guys, unfortunately. But that is the way it works, I guess, in today's society. But at any rate, guys, I'm just hanging out. Thought I would hang out with you guys. I assume I will. Yeah. Well, speaking of that, Acorn. If you order your frames directly from Acorn, there's something on their website that said in 11 days the price will be increasing. So if you need foundations from Acorn or something like that, I would order them now if you can, because they're actually, I think a single wax 100 of them is like $105. So it's a like $1.05 a foundation. If you're getting it no wax and waxing it yourself, then I think it's $89 for 100. So it's something to look into. Let's see. Yep, anything computerized. All right, guys. Well, at any rate, I'm going to sit out here in the cool South Carolina weather here, the gray skies of Carolina, and try to sell some honey, but it does not look like it's going to be an eventful day. But I've been wrong before, and then the sun will pop out, and then it'll be nice. Let's see. But at any rate, guys, you guys have a good day, and we will see you guys on the next stream. Thank you. Bye for now.